Oh, what a press there. Right. I think I'm live. I'll wait to see if anybody joins me to confirm that I'm live, and hopefully you can hear me. Hi, Sue. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Right, so hopefully you can hear me this evening, and I thought I would oh, thank you, Mr. G. I thought I'd come in and have a little bit of a play with Steampunk Menagerie, because hopefully some of you will have caught the shows that Belinda and I had on Create and Craft on at the weekend. It was on Sunday and it was so much fun. It was fabulous to have her in studio, in the TV studios, and she was a complete pro, of course. So I'm hoping she'll come back when we've got more products to release, because I think it was great to see her working with her own products and being on the telly box in her fantastic outfit. Of course, I'll have to up my game next time we do TV together. Oh, your collection arrived today, Donna. Oh, lovely. Thank you everyone for joining me. Let me just say some hellos, because I can see familiar names, which is always lovely. So Donna, obviously, Sue, Moika, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Adele. Oh, I do like Lady Grey. I think we should definitely keep that as my everyday name. Hi, Naneka. Good to see you. Ali. Yeah, they were fun. Hi, Maxine. Yeah, they were. I really enjoyed them. I think it just kind of brought the collection to life a little bit, didn't it? And it was just nice to see Belinda in person, because it's the first time I'd ever met her in real life, and Sam as well. Lovely Sam Thompson from our design team was the chauffeur for Belinda for a lot of this week. I think she's gone back to Germany today, from what I could see on Facebook. Hiya, Liz. I wasn't hiding, Liz. So let me just say a very warm welcome, everybody, on this Thursday evening. So it's Why Not Thursday tonight. And I thought I'd have a little play in my art journal with the Steampunk Menagerie collection. It'd be great if everyone watching could oh, sorry. Sorry, I just got distracted by a comment there. If you could like and share wherever you're able to, so that more and more people get to see that we're live on a weekly basis, and also see the inspiration with the new products, which I know a lot of you that are in the feed this evening have already bought and either received, or it's on its way to you. So please do like and share. I'm just going to read this out. So Lady Grey was allegedly a ghost in the girls' gymnasium when I was at school in the early 80s. Oh. I still like being called Lady Grey, but yeah, you take the shine off it a bit now. Yes, so shall we? I'm sorry, I'm terrible for reading the comments and then getting distracted. So what I was going to do was turn the camera down and just show you a few new little bits and pieces that I've put in the shop this week, obviously in addition to Belinda's collection. And just in case some of you aren't receiving our newsletter and aren't aware of some of the things that I've been adding in, which I think will work perfectly with Steampunk Menagerie, which is of course why I've added it. So let me stop jabbering and turn the camera down. So I've had my instructions from Mr. G on how to do it, and that worked. Hopefully you can still hear me. So on my desk this evening, we've got two little peeps here. These are Vince and Winston. Have I lost sound, Mr. G?
You've gone on Facebook.
Oh, I've gone on Facebook apparently. Hi, Jan. Hi, Therese.
Just frozen on Facebook, so let's see what I hear.
And hi, Melanie. I'm moving slowly now because Mr. G says he's lost me on Facebook. You can still hear me, Adele. That's great.
Yeah, you're right on
YouTube.
Although it is.
Should I just carry on? Yeah, everything's okay on YouTube. So if anybody can't hear me, go to YouTube. I'm not sure. If you can't hear me, that won't. Oh, Facebook user says they can hear me.
Okay.
I'm carrying on.
Frozen at my end.
Yeah, just you frozen messaging. So yes, these two little characters are new to us at Funky Fossil, and they're illustrated by the wonderful Charlotte Blackwood, who has bought us fabulous gnome stamps in the past. And she's done a few little Halloween designs for me, or Halloween type designs. And we've got Winston the Wizard. These are A7 stamps. Winston the Wizard, I've watercoloured here, and Vince the Vampire. He's so cute, his little fangs. Now, I haven't put these on the shop yet. These are, you've got the opportunity to select one of these as a free gift if you subscribe to our newsletter. So some of you will have already seen the newsletter and know about Winston and Vince. But if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, now is a brilliant time to do it, because if you place an order for more than £15, then one of these little characters can be popped into your parcel. I'll put them on the shop, obviously, kind of over the weekend, just for people who want to just buy them as an individual stamp. But I thought it'd be a nice thank you to those of you who do already subscribe to the newsletter. And I saw a message there from somebody saying that they forgot to add their gnome when they ordered. So don't worry about it at all. Just personal message me and tell me which one it is that you would like. And hopefully I haven't shipped your order yet, and I will, and I'll be able to pop it in, but I'll certainly will make sure you get whichever of the gnomes you like. At the moment, I'd say Winston's edging it over Vince. In terms of popularity, possibly because Winston, because he's just a wizard, then he kind of isn't necessarily specifically Halloween, whereas obviously Vince has got a particular Halloweeny vibe. So I've coloured these two in. I'm going to put them on a project soon, but I thought you'd like to see them because they are fabulous, and Charlotte does wonderful gnomes. And I thought it'd be nice to add these two A7s into the collection. The other thing that I've added into the shop is a kind of new and improved version of our A5 stamp set, which is called Engine Room. So this is one that we have. It was an early stamp set for us at oh, hi Belinda, you're back. Bless you. Hope you had a good journey. This was an early stamp set from Funky Fossil, and it is one that I do get probably, I'd say it's in the top 5 in relation to the number of requests I get for it to be restocked. And of course, with us bringing out Steampunk Menagerie 2, I thought actually this was a good opportunity to revisit it for those of you who haven't previously had it. I have slightly updated it in that the images are bigger. In fact, I think I've lost an image to scale up the ones that we do have, because they're fabulously detailed, wonderful kind of vintage machinery illustrations. And I've changed the sentiments, the font particularly, so that it fits with the font we use on Belinda's stamps. So you can obviously kind of use them as well. So that is, if you already have Engine Room, it's probably not different enough to get it again. But if this is a new stamp set to you, or you haven't been following us for that long, then this is now back in the shop and slightly different. I should have given you one, Belinda. Oh, I wasn't thinking, was I? I wasn't thinking. So yeah, this is a new one, and I'm going to use it in this art journal page as an accompaniment to our lovely Steampunk Menagerie. So that's my news. That's the kind of stuff I've been getting up to on the shop. Donna, I'm sure you'll be placing another order, and you can put Engine Room in with that. I think I shipped your order this afternoon as well. So I'm afraid I can't add it now. So here is my 8x8 journal that I've already started working on, because I've tried to get a little bit ahead without necessarily kind of missing up or jumping forward too many steps for you. And what I've got here, so my 8x8 journal page, and I just did this afternoon. I have cut a window in the page, and then I've used a piece of the 8x8 engine room papers on the next page below. I'm getting to it, Adele. I won't forget to mention ports and lines. So this is what I've done. I've cut out, I know, I don't think Claire's on for Mark Journal Love, but she loves doing cutaways in her journals to reveal the page below. And I thought that was a really good way of combining these two pages and getting the papers on there. So this is stuck down on the page below. And in terms of the top sheet that I've already, as you can see, inked up, I inked it up with Rusty Hinge, Uncharted Mariner, so make sure I keep on the screen, and ground espresso. Just literally kind of try to get a nice blend, nice lot of variation, because I think it works well with the papers beneath. And did the classic distress splatter with water to get this effect. So I think that's kind of quite a good place to start. But let's add some, and the reason I did this ahead of time was because obviously we want to do a bit more inking and also use our fab new embossing powders on it. So I didn't want there to be lots of wet ink that might sabotage my heat embossing. So let's add a little bit of stenciling. And while I'm stenciling, I must ask you the question as to whether you've all got tickets and are able to come and see us at Put Sunlight Stamping Together Festival, because that's on Saturday the 11th of November. Put Sunlight's kind of on, is it on the Wirral, Adele? So obviously you need to kind of be in the UK. And it's a brilliant event. It's a lovely day. Lots of fab brands are there with their stands. It's run by Stamps by Me. Adele's the organizer. It's run by Stamps by Me. We do live demos and filming during the day. So yeah, there's loads to come and see and get involved in. You got your ticket. Oh, I am glad. I think Adele said, did you say, Adele, that 1,000, we've sold 1,000? No, that you can't. How many tickets have we sold already, Adele? Do you know? Right. Anyway, sorry, I'm distracting myself. Pipe work. So this is one of the new stencils from Belinda. And what I'm thinking of doing is stenciling in these two corners and then adding some stamping over the top of the stenciling. So the stenciling, I don't want to be too strong. I don't want it to force its way to the front, because we want to stamp over the top. But it's another nice bit of layering to add. Oh yes, it is near you, Ali, isn't it? Because I love it when you come and see us there. Is that right then, Adele? 1,000 tickets sold. Good grief. Wow, it's going to be a busy one. Are you not going to so that would have been lovely to see you. It's not too, I don't think it's too far for you. Right, Rusty Hinge and a blending brush. I accidentally put my blending brush in Uncharted Mariner while I was inking up this afternoon, so it's looking increasingly murky, but it will certainly put the colour on nice and cleanly. So as you can see as well, I put a bit of white paper underneath my window, just so I don't inadvertently stamp and ink onto the layer below. Now some of this won't be visible because I'm going Rusty Hinge on Rusty Hinge. Of course, the tone on tone approach with our stencils is always a lovely effect, but it will be either more or less visible depending on how much ink I get down. Hi Rachel. Hi Mary, lovely to see you. You got back to having a full house, haven't you? These blending brushes really do a good job. So let's see what we've got. I like that. Again, as I say, we're not looking for anything too strong, too distracting on the eye. If I wanted to make it more visible, then obviously I would need to go with more of a contrasting colour. So let's just, one of the nice things about this stencil is we can turn it in any direction. There we go. More rusty hinge. I'm not needing to think too hard. I quite like it when you can fade a stencil out. You don't want really to get harsh lines where a pattern ends too abruptly. It's quite nice with this one because it just will fade off. As you can see, obviously you can see it clearly on the white, but it won't be that strong. Once we've got stamping over the top, it won't distract too much, but it's there, and that's the key thing. And we know it's there as well. That's the nice thing about journals. I'm still trying to let go of my layers and be willing to cover things up. But it's amazing sometimes what bits pop out and you kind of didn't, you see them, even though you think you've already covered them up. Hopefully I'm making sense this evening. Oh, did you really, Donna? Oh, I'm glad you like it. It is amazing detail. Belinda worked really hard to get that detail on those on that alphabet and the numbers. Right, what am I doing? What have I done with my engine room? Already I've lost, there it is. Already I've lost the stamp set. Now, let me think. I think I will heat emboss these with some of the new Timeless powders, because that will give a nice metallic look, won't it? And I'm not looking, again, this is about having kind of cogs and machinery parts around the edge, not about having a focal point, because one of our lovely steampunk characters will be the focal point. So it doesn't really matter what way up. Although some of them have got bits of writing in, but crikey, I really don't think anybody's going to see whether you've got it upside down or back to front. So let's put this, again, I'm working in corners. So I've got my stenciling here, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave those areas. Thinking aloud. I know you'll all chip in if you think I'm going wrong. I think I'm going to leave those areas a bit calmer, because I've got my fabulous machinery dies cut out already, and I'm wanting to kind of build interest up in these opposite corners here. So that's maybe as much as I'm going to do on these side parts. We'll see. Let's see how we go. Overthinking as usual. Oh yes, Karen, you better be quick with your purple project. For those of you who aren't necessarily in our Facebook, our Fun with Funky Fossil Facebook group, we have a monthly challenge, and it's coming, obviously September's coming to an end, and this month's challenge is purple versus green, because of Olga's love of purple and my love of green. I haven't looked at the album recently, but I have a nasty feeling that purple may be in the lead. It's very upsetting for me. So let's heat emboss with Coppermine. I'm going to stamp with a brown ink, so it won't matter. I could go in with a embossing ink, just a clear embossing ink, but I think if I go in with this brown, this Versafine Claire brown, this is a very fine, these are very fine detailed stamps. So I'm hoping that the embossing powder will work well with them, because the embossing powders have got quite a lot of texture in them. So we'll see what detail we get with the embossing on top. So obviously being aware of my spiral binding there. So I think this will work. Thank you, Steph. I'm very glad that a green entry has been entered. Have you entered a green project though, Adele? It's no good saying. We need all the help we can get, us greens. Oh, Donna. Well, as long as your entry would have been green, I'll take that. I'll take that as a win. Right. That's not quite picked up all the details. Actually, I like that. I'm wondering whether I should heat emboss that. Of course, while I'm indecisive, it won't. You know, I don't think I will, because I'm going to heat emboss these. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to heat emboss it. Of course, when stamping into your journal, you've always got a little bit of it's a little bit more challenging, because you've got a less even surface. So you've just got to be forgiving of yourself and your stamps. So it doesn't win, Adele, just because it's an invisible, environmentally friendly project. Nice try though. So again, just continuing, or you can see, do you know what, I'm going to do this one down here. I was just going to realise I was going to hit my spiral, which would be no good at all. So let's stamp down here. Did I see some comment about smelling stamps out of the packaging? Do you know, I don't do that. I smell my papers, of course. It would be, let's stamp nicely. It would be rude not to smell your papers, but I must admit, I've never been tempted to smell my stamps. Just could be me. Right, I've moved the stamp up the block here so that I can stamp off the edge and not hit my spiral. Hi, Sammy. You recovered, Sam, from all your chauffeuring of the pink one this week. You did an amazing job, and it was so lovely to see you as well on Sunday in the studios. Right, one more bit of stamping. I could stamp like this all day. I love the detail in these stamps. They do really stamp beautifully. I will try heating, not on this project, but I will try heat embossing them to see how they look. But I'm liking the brown. Yeah, stays on, smells of almonds, doesn't it? What time did you have to be at the airport, Belinda? Oh, at the airport by 6 o'clock. Oh, that would have not played nicely for Samantha. I get the feeling she's not an early bird. One more little bit here. You are terrible, you lot. Honestly, it probably would take me half the time to finish demo if I wasn't reading comments and chatting to you all. Yeah, stays on. So it's the almonds, isn't it? Does it smell like marzipan? Stays on. Yeah, you're a night owl, Sam. It's dark here now. I think that's going to work. I like this. Let me see. Does it get lost a bit, do you think? We'll have to see. We're going to be adding more to it. But you can see now when you take the white away, how the stamping is around the edges. Maybe I need a bit more here. One more. Oh, smell of the jelly plate. I feel like we need to have a separate Facebook group for craft sniffers. Some kind of help group. Yeah, I don't use Stay-On very often either, but I do like how it smells. Right, one last bit here. There we go. I like that. What do you think? Sniffers. Well, if anybody wants to set the group up, then I'll certainly join it. Right, I think that looks okay. I'm, and you know you're going to have to contribute to this process. It does feel a bit dark at the moment, but we'll see. We'll see how we can, whether we can add some contrast or lift it a little bit. Now, just so you know where I'm going, is I tore Mr. Fox off the back of one of my demos from Sunday because it was rubbish. The demo was rubbish. And and I like the colours. I thought he works well with this colour combination. I could stick him to the front and have him on the front, but I thought if we have him sitting behind the window, then I'll be able to decorate this page as well. Not necessarily in this live, but that's my thinking. So he's going to sit behind the window, and already he lifts it, doesn't he? I think he already brings it a little bit more. Oh, it wasn't a great demo. I was intimidated, Julie, by Belinda in all her steampunk regalia. It's very intimidating. Right, let's do a bit of heat embossing though, because I do want to build up these fabulous dies, because again I'm still going to layer up in the corners. I could have two in the corners. We can see maybe that's a bit of overkill. I don't want it to look too symmetrical. We'll see, but let's add a little bit of embossing powder, because that will give. I've layered these dies up. So it's on craft card. I've put a couple of layers together. But if you've seen Belinda's inspiration, you could die cut them out of foam, and that would give you lift. It would give you dimension without having to stick them together. Although you might want to heat emboss the top layer before you adhere it to the foam, because I'm not sure how the foam will respond to the heat gun. So I'll get a few embossed up just in case we decide we're going to use them. What have I done with my embossing ink? Hidden it. So these are both craft card. I know. Can you imagine? We'll have to demand that she comes along in full steampunk next time, rather than just the light version. So, giving these a good dousing of embossing ink. And then I think I still will stick with Coppermine. You can. One of the things. There's no details on here. That's okay. I do love with my embossing inks. Certainly when I'm doing this kind of texture effect, I do love mixing them. But I'm just going to give them a full coating of coppermine to start with, and then we can see, because we can always go back in and start adding a bit of tarnished treasure if we want to make them a little bit more silvery. Don't know the pokey tools then, just to lift them up. So this coppermine is stunning. It really is. It's just got all the perfect colours to give you that kind of aged copper look. So it's not a bright shiny copper. It's got the verdigris, it's got the black speckles, so it's already quite an aged look. And because it's got all that variation in it, you don't always get the same effect twice in terms of what it will look like when you melt the powder. If you're using it on a fine image, like what I was just talking about with the engine room, you might find that it doesn't hold as many of the black speckles because they're coarser. So again, but when you're using it on a solid thing, more solid surface like this, then all of the speckles will stay intact. So it's worth playing about with stamping and also doing other effects. Have you not got the embossing powder, Rachel? Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah, they did. They went. So I'm reading back on Rachel's comment about Belinda and Sam at the Lincoln Steampunk Festival. I think it was last year, and they both look amazing. I think Sam told me they had about 5 costumes each. I can't imagine how long it took them to get those made. Just chasing this around. And I'll lift it up in a second because you won't be able to see how fabulous it looks. Thank you, Adele. I don't know if any of you are on Instagram. Wow have been showcasing the Summer Twilight Trio this week. So they've had some of their fab designers making projects with those embossing powders, which is the greens and purples. So they look amazing, their projects. I love these. Can you see that? Really lovely. I mean, again, I just love the fact that you get that immediate look of metal without the dimensional weight. Yes, I do. I love using embossing powders on MDF of kind of all scales, really. If I wasn't doing this in a journal, where obviously you don't want it too bulky, then I would be embossing these, which is obviously the Lux Cuts, the MDF, not MDF, plywood gears that we sell, because of course they look stunning when you've got the embossing powders on them. But I do, yes, I do cover larger areas with them because they go a long way, really. So that they look cool, don't they? Let's do a few more little of the bit smaller cogs. The smaller cogs from this collection. I've done loads of die cutting ahead of the shows on Sunday. Oh, this looks ominous. I'm looking at my glass mat here. I spent ages this afternoon trying to find the letters to spell imagine, and I can't see them now. Anyway, focus, grey, focus. Let's just do these smaller pieces. So these are again from the same die set. And one thing to say again, in terms of demoing fails from the weekend, I don't know if I've put them away anywhere, but bear with me 1 second. I was doing this piece with the A6 stamp set. So the A6 stamp set obviously features this gorgeous cascade of cogs. And I meant to say, and I'm sure you'll have worked it out already, but the die cut, the central piece of the die cut fits perfectly over the centre of the stamp. So if you want to then build this up with extra dimension, or you want to have a kind of quite a watery look on the stamp, you then can bring that definition back in with the die cut over the top of it. But I got everything so wet with my over exuberant spritzing that I couldn't really show you that live. But that's kind of the idea of, we don't sell the stamp and die together as in a combination, but they are scaled to work together. All the demos I should have done, eh? Right, another quick one. Let's do Tarnished Treasure on this one, on these. So this one I've already die cut out of the paper, so I already had a rusty effect from the actual pattern paper laid up on black card, but it'll heat emboss. So the demo you have in your head and the demo you end up doing live are not always the same thing on telly. Exactly, Ali. That's the thing, because the challenge we always have when we're looking at collections is when to stop, because you could continue going. But obviously we have to consider what the final price point would be for everybody, and but the joy of it is having the coordinating elements, isn't it, that you can really kind of enjoy working with together. I know this all, as we showed on TV, this will all go with part one, although I'm out of the pets. Pets have gone. Steampunk pets, we've still got a few farmyard left, but none of the steampunk pets, I'm afraid. So thank you, Adele. Yes, this is quite a bold nail colour choice for me. I thought I'd be brave, and I quite like it. Well, see you later, Jane. See you on Saturday, I hope. I got your message. Right, let's just hold this down. So this is Tarnished Treasure. It's got the silver, the kind of silver with some golds in it, but it gives you quite a faded look again. The idea is worn metal rather than super shiny. Just folding it down. Oh, and I like the look it's given on this, the one with the pattern paper, because you've got, of course, got the dark colour. No, this on the black, sorry. It's the black card. So you already have the dark colour underneath it. It's gone almost kind of pewter. And then this is it on the pattern paper. Again, sometimes it's nice to have a pattern paper underneath, because if you don't get full coverage, you've got another layer with some interest going on. So let's see how this goes. Do I put, yeah, I might put that cog inside where the stamp hasn't quite caught. Now I could put this other cogs here, they might get a bit lost. You'll have to shout up whether you think. Let me stick these down because I like them there. I know I like them there. And then I'll see, because I'm wondering whether to put these cogs underneath the window so it just peeps out. Well, it goes nicely with that that mining wheel. Just goes on that perfectly. Let's add some glue. Hi, Lindsay. Pinotage. Oh, let me make sure I don't glue it glue the 2 pages together. Where was I going to add the glue? Top here. There we go. You're not being sniffed about sniffing inside. Lindsay, don't rat us out. This is one of the Pink Pig journals, art journals. Rachel, this is the 8x8, but they come in all sorts of sizes. The reason I use these is because I do like the paper that's in them, the kind of mixed media watercolor paper. I just find it's a nice weight. I think it's 280 GSM, and it takes a lot of mediums. So they do sell the paper separately if you want something to work on without being in a journal. But I do like these journals, and they're quite inexpensive, really. I think in terms of what you can pay for an art journal, so I don't feel too precious about them. I could add another. I'm going to add another layer there. Can you see? Let me just. My lighting's atrocious, isn't it? So I've added that one in there. I'm going to add this little cluster here. Just building that circle up. It doesn't need to be. You can, you can add as many cogs and as much dimension to it as you want. Yeah, I've got a lot of it. I've got reams of it loose because then I use it for making up for cards. If I want to use texture paste and stuff, I can use it then for card front. Right, I'm hoping that will take in a second. Obviously, the plastic of the embossing powder take a second longer to grab. Now, we know Mr. Fox is going to be there. I still haven't decided about my extra cogs and whether I quite like it now. You'll have to tell me, everyone, because I need to know now. No pressure. I need to know now, but because I'm going to add the pipework letters along the bottom saying imagine. I've already got them die cut out. Now from where I'm standing, they stand out okay. I'm wondering whether they're going to stand out sufficiently on screen for yourselves, but I'll take a photo in daylight and you'll be able to see them. But they're a lovely size. Now I wonder if I have this here, or I have got all my letters, it will go over the cogs, which is fine. I'll do it, it's not a problem, but I'll need to know now whether you put the cogs underneath. Oh, Adele says it looks good right here. But have I changed your mind, Adele, now with my I think I'll put it underneath. Do you know what I'll do? She says, is I'll stick it under here. Look, like that. So we're just going to have, I mean, I could just cut, so I wouldn't need to use the whole image, but I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to stick it underneath. And then we've got that circle. Oh, yes, and it looks like it continues the circle. That's a plan, just made up on the spot. There we go. So I don't want it so far up that it's going to get in Mr. Fox's way, but actually it's quite nice to have it. Yeah, that should do it, shouldn't it? I mean, we haven't got him stuck down yet, so we can move him around anyway. Oh, would you? What, you mean put them down vertically? Well, it's too late now, Donna. I've committed. You've all got too many good ideas. Would you? I don't know. I was quite liking it along the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try and line these up straight. I'm going to go for, casually wonky. One thing I'm going to do, not now, but it is in my mind to do, is, the stamp set has, what got stuck there? What was a piece of pipe work? Has got these fabulous bits of pipe work along the bottom. So I am thinking, I keep saying not now, but I think it'd be really cool to do a journal page with pipe work going down the side and each of the letters coming off the end of a pipe. So that's, that's in my head, that's percolating. There's so much you can do with this collection, seriously. And I know Belinda will be doing lots of lives with it too. Right, now how to spell imagine. So if we just keep everything casually wonky, we'll get away with it. I've started with my with my G, sorry, because that's the kind of middle letter. So it means that if I get that broadly central, then the rest of the word will sit underneath the fox. Okay. What do you think, everyone? That E looks a bit lost, doesn't it? It does look. It does stand out more than I think my lighting is showing you. You think Lindsay vertical might work as well? Oh, have I gone? Where have I gone? There we go. Scared myself. You think? I'm not. I will not. I will not be swayed now, everybody. You'll have to share your makes. Share your makes with the layouts I should have done. There's another Facebook group, isn't it? What she should have done. So that's the G down. Some of them are layered and some are just single layers, but I don't think it will matter on this occasion. I do quite often layer up. I just like layering up die cuts. I just think it gives a nice element of dimension. And I did die cut a heck of a lot of these. Oops. So I've got lots of letters ready for my next project. Oh, thank you. So, was there anything else I needed to update you on? I know not many of you will be necessarily that local, but Stamps by Me have got a open day, a demo day at their fabulous shop in Wakefield on Saturday. So I'm going to be there doing some demos. If any of you can pop in and say hello, that would be fabulous. I know some of you are local, but I'm sure not many of you are. Oh, and I've just been told, not been told, but that I've got an hour next Wednesday on Let Leonie Loose, the 11 o'clock show. So I've just sent the products off for that. So that's exciting because I always love to see what Leonie does. So just the 11 o'clock, not both hours. To be able to catch up with a bit more Funky Fossil then. I've mentioned Port Sunlight, the Stamping Together Festival. Otherwise, my life would not be worth living. Would it, Adele? Is there anything else, team? And Ali is working on our next challenge, our October challenge. So that will go live. Is it Monday? Sunday. Is it a long way for you, Lindsay? So yeah. Here we go. Sunday, yeah. Sunday the 1st. So Ali's got that ready to go. So I don't even know if I paid for my stand yet, Adele. So, oh, you see, look, I've stuck it together now. There we go. That will be dealt with. That will be dealt with afterwards. So that is, I'm sure, I know I could do more. I could use our grungy alphabet. I could use the amazing A6 machinery stamp rather than just the die to build this up. I actually really quite like it as it is. I do like it. So I think that works. What I will do now, I won't do it now because I've taken, is it enough, Lindsay? Oh, thank you. Or was that just walk away? Okay. Feedback. And I won't stick my fox down just yet, because what I will now, my next piece of the project, and I'll share where I end up with it, is, I don't know where it is gone, but I've got the piece that I've cut out the centre. So I will put that here, so I know what area I want to block out, and then I will do some more work around this border that's created that will be hidden. So our fox will stay visible, so will these cogs, but then whether it's washi tape or stamping or stenciling, I'll be able to then work around this border, because what we want is for this page to be as interesting as this page. And I'll just have to have a little bit of a think about how I go about doing that. But isn't he fabulous? Isn't he fabulous? Oh, Belinda, I love these stamps. So yeah, bit of engine room, bit of stenciling, the fabulous pipe work letters, wonderful timeless embossing powders and the machinery dies, and of course Mr. Fox being the star of the show. I think that's come together quite nicely. Yeah, I think, yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, I think there's just enough there. And what will be nice in my journal is when I turn the page, there'll be more here to see as well. So I do like having little windows in the journal, and it just challenges you to think about how you're going to lay your designs up, because you're now conscious that you don't want stuff showing through that doesn't work with the top layer. So I will have a think on that. Oh, thanks, Belinda. You must be tired, lovely. Right, I'm going to leave you with that masterpiece, and I'll take a photo of it in daylight so you can see it in a little bit more true light, and I'll share that tomorrow. And I think that's everything that I wanted to show and tell this evening. Remember to, if you don't already subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe, because obviously Winston and Vince are awaiting you. And I shall leave you there, my lovelies. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. I might see some of you in Wakefield on Saturday, but other than that, we'll still be jumping around in our Facebook group and doing lots more over the next few days. I'd love to see what you do with Steampunk Menagerie too, and I know Belinda would too. So I shall see you soon. Bye for now.